Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In this video I will explain about a problem on three-hinged circular arch. So in my previous video you can see that I have explained you small derivation and general procedure to be followed while analyzing the three-hinged circular arch. Okay, so in this video I will explain a problem on circular arch. Okay, the question is given that a three-hinged circular arch with a span of 16 meters and central rise 4 meters as shown. So this is the arch and this is the 16 meter span and this is the central rise 4 meters is given, and it is asked to calculate the moment at all the points, that means at point D, E, F, J, K, L, because and at the point C we are having third hinge. At hinge support moment will be 0. Okay, so no need to calculate it separately. And also calculate the normal thrust, radial shear at left and right quarter points. So we have to calculate the normal thrust and radial shear. Okay, after calculation of moments we have to calculate the normal thrust and radial shear. So you can also see the loads that at point E we are having a point load of 80 kilonewton, and at the hinged support at point C we are having 40 kilonewton, and a UDL over this half entire span 20 kilonewton per meter. Okay, a UDL about 20 kilonewton per meter intensity. Okay, so this is the given loading system and this is the arch. So coming to the solution, so I have explained the procedure in my previous video. If you haven't seen that video, you can watch that video. The link will be given in the description. So in that video I have told you the first step is to calculate the radius of the arch. Since this is a circular arch, we need to calculate the radius of the arch. So the formula for calculation of radius is yc into 2r minus yc equal to L square by 4. So this is the formula to calculate the radius of the circular arch. I have explained you this derivation in my previous video. Okay, now yc is nothing but the central rise 4 meters and r is the radius of the arch which we need to calculate now, and L is the span 16 meters. So all the values are known and we can find the value of r, that means radius. So yc is 4 meters, 2 into r unknown, and yc is 4 meters and L square means 16 square by 4. So on solving this you will get radius of arch as 10 meters. So the radius of given arch is 10 meters, and now the next step is to calculate the rise of arch at various points. Okay, so the rise of arch at various points means here there are D, E, F, J, K, L. So the arch is symmetrical about y axis. Okay, therefore the rise at D equal to rise at L, rise at E equal to rise at K, rise at F equal to rise at J. So no need to calculate separately these next half points. Okay, so first of all we will calculate. So in order to calculate the rise of arch, the general formula is r minus yc plus y whole square plus x square equal to r square. So along with this formula I have also derived this formula in the previous video. So if you haven't seen that video, you can watch that video. Now this is the formula which we need to use for calculation of rise of arch at various points. So in this formula, if you observe, r is the radius of the arch, just now we have calculated. Yc is the central rise 4 meters which is given in the question. Y is the rise at particular points. For example, if you want to calculate rise at D, then y becomes yd. Rise at E equal to ye. Rise at F equal to yf. So in the similar way we have to calculate the value of y at every point, and x is the distance from center of the arch to the point which we are taking. So this is the most important thing we need to consider here. X is the distance from center of the arch, not from the supports. Okay, in the parabolic arch, while analyzing the parabolic arches, the x value is taken from the support. For example, if you want to take x for point D, the x value will be 2 meters. Okay, but in the circular arch we need to take the x value from the center of the arch, that means this is the center of the arch and we have to take the distance from center to that point. Okay, so it will be 2 2 2, so 2 plus 2 plus 2 6 meters. Okay, so in the circular arches the x value should be taken from the distance, x should be measured from center of the arch, not from the supports. Okay, that is the most important thing. And now I am placing the common terms Now the common terms are r, that is 10 meters, minus yc is central rise 4 meters, plus y is the value which we need to find for every point, plus x is the value which varies with point to point. So r square means 10 square. So on further simplifying it, you will get y plus 6 whole square plus x square equal to 100. Now we have to use this equation. Okay, we have to use this equation to calculate the rise y at various points. So first of all, we have to calculate the rise at d. So y becomes yd. Okay, yd plus 6 whole square. So whole square plus. So just now I have told you the x value should be measured from center of the arch. So from here it is 6 meters, because each and every point is equidistant from each other, 2 meters, 2 meters, 2 meters and 2 meters. Okay, so since this is 16 meters, this half span will be 8 meters. Okay, so this is 16 meters, this will be 16 by 2, that means 8 meters. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, 2 fours 8. Okay, so each and every point is equidistant to each other. Now we want distance up to d from center of the arch. 2 plus 2 plus 2, x equal to 6 square equal to 100. So on simplifying this, you will get yd equal to 2 meters. So now this yd, the rise at d, is equal to rise at L. So by symmetry we can say that yd equal to yl equal to 2 meters. Now similarly after d we have to calculate the rise of arch at point E. Now yd means now ye plus 6. So this is the general equation, we need to follow this equation. Ye plus 6 whole square plus x is the distance from center to the point E. So this is the center of the arch and this is the point E. Okay, so from 2 plus 2, 4 square equal to, since we are having square, now 4 square equal to 100. Now on simplifying you will get ye equal to 3.165 meters, which is also equal to the corresponding point at right half span, yk. Now after E, now yf plus 6 whole square plus, now the distance from center of the arch to f is 2 meters, so 100. Now yf equal to, on simplifying you will get 3.798 meters, which is also equal to j. This is point j, yj. So now we have calculated the rise at d, e, f, j, k, l. So we have calculated all the rise at various points in the arch. Now the next step is to calculate the support reactions. So to calculate the support reaction, we are having one hinge here and another hinge here. Okay, so at hinge support we will have one vertical reaction, let it be VA, and at another hinged support another vertical reaction VB. So VA and VB are the vertical reactions and HA and HB. So these two reactions will be horizontal reaction. So since we are having hinged support at A and B, one vertical reaction and one horizontal reaction, one vertical reaction and another horizontal reaction. Sorry, this is HB. Okay, now we have to calculate the support reactions, that means VA, VB, HA and HB. So first I am using equilibrium equation sigma V equal to 0. So algebraic sum of all the vertical loads is equal to 0. So here VA and VB are the vertical loads which are acting upward direction. So same direction VA plus VB equal to, now summation of downward loads 80 plus 40 plus, and it is the 20 kilonewton per meter. This is UDL. So in order to convert this UDL into point load, I should multiply load intensity this 20 into the length upon which it is acting. So it is acting upon right half span, that is 8 meters. So 8 meters. Now you will get an equation VA plus VB equal to 280 kilonewton. So this is one equation. Now I will take summation of moments equal to 0 about A. So you can also take the moment about B. So I am taking moment about A. So this procedure is similar to the simply supported beam. Okay. Now we are calculating the support reactions. So if I take the moment about this point A, now VB into, so I am taking the from coming from the right side. So if I take the moment at point A coming from the right side, the first reaction is VB. VB into this perpendicular distance. So in order to calculate the moment, we have to multiply the load into perpendicular distance. Load means reaction. VB into perpendicular distance is 16 meters, that is total span. So this load, this reaction is taking the arch in upward direction. It is moving the arch in upward direction. It is a sagging moment, so it is positive. Okay. Now this load intensity is moving the arch in downward direction. It is hogging moment, so negative, minus 20 into, that means load into the total span upon which it is acting. It is 8 into the point from where we are taking the distance from point where we are taking to the center of UDL. That means 8 plus 8 by 2. So this half span is 8 meters. So this 8 meters plus this UDL span by 2. So at this distance, okay. So 8 plus 8 by 2. So this is 8 plus 8 by 2. Now this 40 kilonewton load. This 40 kilonewton load is moving the arch in downward direction. It is hogging moment. So minus 40 load into perpendicular distance, 40 into 8. 8 is the perpendicular distance. Now again 80 kilonewton load. It is also moving the arch in downward direction, that is hogging moment, so negative. So load 80 kilonewton into the perpendicular distance. So this is the line of action of load and this is the perpendicular distance from point E to A. 2 plus 2, it is 4. So there are no other loads. So finally equal to 0. So this is the equation. On simplifying this, you will get VB equal to 160 kilonewton. So now place this 160 kilonewton in this equation so that you will get VA. VA equal to 120 kilonewton. So we have calculated the vertical reactions VA and VB. So I am writing here VA equal to 120 kilonewton, VB equal to 160 kilonewton. Now we have to calculate the horizontal loads HA and HB. So in order to calculate the horizontal reactions, I am taking the moment at point C equal to 0. So moment at point C, algebraic sum of all the moments at point C equal to 0, because we are having a hinge here. It is a third hinge. So at point C, if we are having a hinge, then the moments will be equal to 0. So that is what I have taken here. So moment at point C, that means sigma MC equal to 0. Now you can come from either left side direction or right side direction. Now I am coming from the left side direction. At left side direction, first of all we are having a vertical reaction VA. Okay, we have to take the moment due to this reaction about point C. So moment equal to product of force into distance. So this is the reaction 120 kilonewton into the perpendicular distance from vertical reaction to this point C, 8. Okay, so this reaction is moving the arch in upward direction. Okay, it is moving the arch in upward direction. So it is sagging moment. Sagging moment means positive, so plus. Okay, now after VA we are having HA. We don't know the value of HA, but this is moving the arch in this direction. That means downward direction. Okay, in this manner. So it is hogging moment. So minus, we don't know the value of HA, let it be HA, into the perpendicular distance. This is the line of action of load and this is the perpendicular distance from HA to C. It is 4 meters into 4. So this is one moment and we are having a load of 80 kilonewton. It is moving the arch. So it is moving the arch in downward direction. That means hogging moment again. Minus 80 into the perpendicular distance is 2 plus 2, 4. So this is another moment, finally equal to 0. So if you solve this, you will get HA equal to 160 kilonewton. HA equal to 160 kilonewton. Now I am placing here 160 kilonewton. So if this is 160 kilonewton, then equal and opposite magnitude should be applied from right side direction. So this is also equal to 160 kilonewton. So in order to balance this 160, I am applying another 160. You can also say that sigma h equal to 0, HA minus HB equal to 0, HA equal to HB, HA equal to 160 kilonewton. Therefore HB is also equal to 160 kilonewton. So we have calculated all the support reactions in the given arch. So after calculation of support reactions, now we have to calculate the beam moments. Beam moments means we have to assume the arch as a simply supported beam. Okay, we have to treat this entire arch as a simply supported beam, and then we have to calculate the moment at each point and made into a simply supported beam with same dimensions 4 meters, 4 meters and 8 meters. So this is the vertical reaction at A, 120 kilonewton, and here 120 kilonewton, and 160 kilonewton vertical reaction at B, so 160 kilonewton. In simply supported beam there won't be any horizontal reaction, so I haven't included that horizontal reaction in this beam. Okay, so at point E we are having 80 kilonewton, so 80 kilonewton, and at similarly at point C we are having 40 kilonewton load and 20 kilonewton per meter UDL. So I have indicated that one. So just I have straightened this arch. Okay, that's what I have drawn here. This is a simply supported beam. Now we have to calculate the moment about point D, E, F, C, J, K and L. Okay, now we have to calculate these moments. So we know that moment is product of force and perpendicular distance. Okay, so we have to multiply the force with the perpendicular distance. So I am denoting the beam moments as mu. For example, if I am calculating the moment at D, I will take mu D. If I am calculating at E, it is mu E. So you can use any other letter as per your convenience. I am taking mu as the symbol for beam moments. So first of all, I am starting from point D. Mu D equal to so I am taking the moment about point D. So I am coming from left side direction. So left side there is 120 kilonewton reaction upward and perpendicular distance is 2 meters. Okay, 120 kilonewton upward reaction and perpendicular distance from this reaction to the point is 2 meters. Okay, every point is equidistant from each other. So 120 into 2. So that is what I am writing here. Force into perpendicular distance, force is 120 kilonewton, perpendicular distance is 2 meters, that means 4 by 2, okay, 2 meters. So since this is moving the beam in upward direction, it is a sagging moment, so it is a positive moment. 120 into 2 is 240 kilonewton meter. Since it is a sagging moment, I am writing it as a positive moment. Now after D we have to calculate the moment at E. So mu E. Again for mu E, if I take the moment about E, force into perpendicular distance up to E. 120 into the perpendicular distance is 4. 120 into 4, it is 480 kilonewton meter. Again mu, next one is F. Now mu F equal to, if I take the moment about F, then there is a reaction at 120 kilonewton and there is a perpendicular distance up to E, it is 4 meters. This extra distance is 2 meters, so 4 plus 2. Okay, so this reaction is moving the beam in upward direction. It is a sagging moment, so it will be positive. 120 into this perpendicular distance, 120 into perpendicular distance is 4 plus 2, so it is 6 meters. So 120 into 6, this is the moment for the reaction. Now if I take moment about this point, there is also one load acting in the left side direction. Okay, 80 into this distance, this 80 into 2, so 80 into 2. Now this load is moving the beam in downward direction, that means hogging moment will be negative, therefore the value is 560 kilonewton meter. Okay, this reaction is moving the beam in upward direction, it is sagging moment, so positive. This load is moving the beam in downward direction, that means hogging moment, that means negative. Okay, so the final moment is 560 kilonewton meter. Now again mu c. Now if I take the moment about this point, again starting from left side, 120 into perpendicular distance 4 plus 4 8. So 120 into 8. This reaction is moving the beam in upward direction. It is a sagging moment, so positive. Again, if we consider towards left side, there is also a load. So 80 into this perpendicular distance is 4. 80 into 4. This load is moving in downward direction. It is making the beam to bend in downward direction. That means hogging moment. So negative. The moment is 640 kilonewton meter. Now we have to calculate the moment at J. So mu J equal to, this time I am taking from right side direction. You can also take from left side direction. Now I am taking from right side direction. So if you consider the point J towards the right side direction, first of all we are having this load. This load is moving the beam in upward direction. That means in this manner. Okay, in this manner the beam is going to bend. So this is the smiley face. So it is a sagging moment. It is a positive moment. So 160 into distance up to here to here. 160. Okay, 160 into this distance. Okay, so I am writing here 160. Since it is a sagging moment, it is positive. So this is 2 meters, 2 meters, 2 meters. So 160 into 6. Okay. So next we are having UDL load. This load is moving the beam in downward direction, that is hogging moment. So it will be negative. For UDL loads, the moment is taken by the load intensity into, so load intensity into, that means 20 kilonewton per meter is the load intensity into the distance over which the UDL acting. From here to here the UDL acting is 6 meters. So 6 into the distance between point to center of UDL. For this distance the center will be here. So this is 6 meters, the center will be 6 by 2. So this is 600 kilonewton meter. Okay. So 160 into perpendicular distance is 6 meters. Okay. Now for UDL, load intensity into length of UDL. So length of UDL is 6 meters. This span. Okay. Length of UDL is 6 meters and point to center of UDL it is 6 by 2. Okay. If total length of UDL is 6 meters, then center point of UDL will be 6 by 2 and it is obtained as 600 kilonewton meter. Now mu k, that means here again 160 into perpendicular distance is 4. 160 into 4, again we are having UDL, it is hogging moment, so minus, again the same formula, intensity of UDL into, that means intensity is same 20 into length of UDL, this time it is 4 meters. Okay, towards right side it is 4 meters. So 4 into distance from point to center. If total span is 4 meters, then center span will be 4 by 2. So the value is 480 kilonewton meter. Mu L. The next point is mu L. Now again 160 into 2. So 160 into 2 minus, so this portion of UDL is taken. Now this portion, to take this portion, so it is a hogging moment, load intensity is 20, the length of UDL is 2 meters and point to center of UDL will be 2 by 2. Now the value is 280 kilonewton meter. So these are the moments which are obtained if I consider the arch as a simply supported beam. Now the fifth step is to calculate the moments in arches. So the general formula is mx equal to mu x minus hyx. So mx is the moment, so x is the point where we are calculating the moment. Okay. Now mu x is the simply supported beam moment. Just now we have calculated in the fourth step. Mu values at various points are calculated in the previous step. So from there you will obtain the values of mu, and minus h is the horizontal reaction. So here we have calculated the horizontal reaction as 160 kilonewton, and yx is the rise at various points. So yx is the rise at various points, yd, ye, yf, yj, k and l. So we know all the values at various points. We have to simply substitute at the corresponding points so as to get the final moment. For example, we need moment at point D. So moment at point D equal to mu D minus HYD. Now mu D value is calculated in the fourth step. We have obtained mu D as 240. So okay, we know mu value minus horizontal reaction H. Here we have calculated in the third step 160 kilonewton. So 160 into yx, that means we are calculating at point D. So yd value here we have obtained as 2 meters. So this is finally equal to minus 80 kilonewton meter. Now me equal to mu e value is 480 minus horizontal reaction is same 160 into ye value is 3.165. So it is minus 26.4 kilonewton meter. Now mf value. So simply we are calculating the moments at various points which is given in the arch. Mu f in the previous step we have obtained as 560 minus h is the 160 kilonewton, which is same in all the steps, and yf is 3.798, which is obtained in the second step, and finally the value is minus 47.68 kilonewton meter. Now after calculating we have to calculate the mj value. So mj equal to mu j is obtained as 600 minus horizontal reaction 160 into, again we need yj value, yj equal to yf equal to 3.798. so the same we have to substitute here. So we will get minus 7.68 kilonewton meter. Now after j, k. So mk equal to mu k value is obtained as 480 minus h value is 160 into yk equal to ye equal to 3.165. so it is yk. So the value is minus 26.4 kilonewton meter. So the final value is minus 26.4 kilonewton meter. Now the last point ml. So moment at point L equal to mu L. Mu L is obtained as 280 minus horizontal reaction is 160 and L value YL equal to 2. So the value is again 40 kilonewton meter. It is negative moment. So minus 40 kilonewton meter. So these are the points which we have calculated the moment at each and every point. Now the next one is to calculate the normal thrust and radial shear. So to calculate the normal thrust and radial shear, it is asked to calculate it left and right quarter span points. So this is the left half span and this is the right half span. So in the half, again we have to take the half span. That means 1/4 of the left span and 1/4 of the right span. So 1/4 of the left span means 1/4 of 16 meters is 4 meters. So at 4 meters 2 plus 2 we are having point E. So we have to calculate the normal thrust and radial shear at point E, that is at left quarter point, and we have to also calculate the right quarter span point, that means 4 meters from this support, and it is K point, the point K. So we have to calculate the normal thrust and radial shear at E and K. To calculate the normal thrust, it is indicated by P equal to h cos theta plus v sin theta. In order to calculate the radial shear at point F, so it is indicated by letter F. It is minus h sin theta plus v cos theta. So we know the value of h. H is nothing but horizontal thrust or horizontal reaction, which is 160 kilonewton, which is obtained in the third step. Okay. So while calculating the support reaction, we have calculated the HA and HB value. So HA and HB are equal, so it is commonly taken as H. So it is 160 kilonewton, and theta, this value is to be calculated now, and V is nothing but shear force at the point we are calculating. That means since we are calculating at point E and K, so we have to take the shear force at point E and shear force at point K, and we have to first of all we have to calculate the value of theta. So to calculate the value of theta, we have one formula, that is tan theta equal to x by r minus yc plus y. Okay, so this is the formula we are having. So this formula I have explained in the previous video. Okay, so this is the formula to calculate the tan theta value. So place all the values which are known to us. So x is the distance from center of support to the point. So from center of support to the point E or K, the x value is 4 meters and it is same. So 4 meters. So I am showing the in the diagram. So from the center of the support, if you take up to E, it is 2 plus 2, 4 meters. For example, if you want to take up to distance K, it is also 2 plus 2, 4 meters. So 4 meters divided by radius of the arch is 10 minus yc is the central rise 4 meters plus y is the rise at point E or K. So rise at E equal to rise at K. So it is obtained as 3.165 in the second step. Okay, so from this you can calculate tan theta equal to 0.43644. So from this you can calculate the value of sin. First of all, calculate the value of theta. So send this tan towards right side, you will get tan inverse of 0.43644. You will get certain value, apply sin function to that obtained value, you will get 0.4, and similarly calculate cos theta equal to 0.9165. Now we have to calculate the value of shear force. So I have already told you that the shear force, the normal thrust and radial shear are to be calculated at point E and K. So we need to calculate the shear force at E, VE equal to, and also shear force at K, VK equal to. Okay, so in order to calculate the shear force, consider this entire arch as a simply supported beam. So I have straightened this arch and considered this arch as a simply supported beam. Same vertical reactions we are having 120 and 160 and 80 kilonewton, 40 kilonewton and 20 kilonewton per meter. Now we need the shear force at point E, that means at this point. So now it is very easy to calculate the shear force at any point in the simply supported beam. So we know how to calculate the shear force at any point in the simply supported beam. So this is towards left side. So left hand side upward is positive. So we are getting positive shear force 120 kilonewton. So there is no another load. So therefore shear force at E equal to 120 kilonewton. Now we need to calculate at K. So towards right side of you can come also from left side. So it is easy to come from right side at this point. So right hand side upward is 160 kilonewton, it is negative. Okay, minus 160. Right hand side upward is negative, so minus 160. So in this portion we are having UDL of intensity 20. Okay, so this UDL is acting towards downward. Right hand side upward is negative, then right hand side downward will be positive, so it is plus. So UDL intensity into the length of this portion, that is 2 meters plus 2 meters, it is 4. So minus 160 plus 80, so it is minus 80 kilonewton. So we have calculated the shear force at E and K. So finally we have calculated all the unknown terms, cos theta, sin theta and shear force V. So we have calculated all the unknown terms. So simply substitute in these formulas to get the normal thrust and radial shear. First of all, normal thrust at point E, that means PE equal to, here we are having for the formula normal thrust H cos theta. H is horizontal thrust which is 160 kilonewton into cos theta is 0.9165 plus V sin theta. That means we are calculating at point E. So this will be VE, shear force at E. That one we have calculated 120 kilonewton into sin theta is 0.4. So now the final answer is 194.64 kilonewton. So this is the normal thrust at point E. Now similarly calculate the radial shear at point E. So for the radial shear minus H, therefore minus 160 into sin theta, it is 0.4 plus shear force at point E, it is 120. So 120 into cos theta is 0.91 0.65. So this is 45.98 kilonewton. So we have calculated the normal thrust and radial shear at point E. Similarly, calculate normal thrust at point K. It is again same formula, h cos theta. H is 160, it is common. Cos theta is also same, 0.9165, whereas the shear force at K will change. So this is minus 80 into Vk is minus 80 into sin theta is 0.4. So it is 114.64 kilonewton. So now the last one, radial shear F at K. So radial shear at K, Fk equal to, so here we are having formula minus 160, minus h, that means minus 160 into sin theta is 0.4 plus V cos theta, that means Vk. At point K we are having shear force as minus 80 into the cos theta value is 0.9165. The value is finally minus 137.32 kilonewton. So we have calculated, in the question it is asked to calculate the moment at all the points. So these are the moments which we are obtained at various points. And also it is asked to calculate the normal thrust, radial shear at left and right quarter span points. So this is the left quarter span and this is the right quarter span. We have obtained the values at E and K. So this is the procedure of analysis of three hinged circular arch. Thank you.